Hey, happy Friday. They call it Black Friday. I guess it's the day they figure they put all the retail merchants back in the black. I think that's what it is. Goes back quite a number of years, but whatever that means. Hopefully, it's a good day for you. It's a pretty day outside, a little cooler, but a gorgeous day, and I hope it's one that's good for you. And here I am, still in my living room as we're quarantining, isolating for a little while because of the stinking virus and everything, but we're doing well. I'm feeling pretty well, and hope you are too. Anyway, just a little stir crazy. Anyway, come on into my little living room for a little while. I got my buddy right here beside me, and I'll forget, don't look at his eyes. It's bad news. Anyway, glad you could be with me today for just a little while. I was thinking about a fellow quite a number of years ago. We're talking about 40 some odd years ago, 45 years ago, nearly. Yeah, it'd be about 45 plus years ago. The fellow's name was George Mose. I'm sure George has been dead for a long time. George was kind of an interesting character. Worked for him for a little while. George was a fellow that he'd find something, some business to get into or something, and jump into it for a little while. But the interesting thing about George was that he wasn't very good at picking personnel. He told me one day that I was the best. He'd picked out that he could trust me. But I tell you why, he spent a lot of time in bars. He drank a lot. I believe truly he was an alcoholic, but he drank a lot. And he would spend time at bars, and he'd meet some fella in a bar, buy him a few drinks, and say, I'll put you to work tomorrow. And the guy would show up about half out of his mind with a hangover and maybe still a little bit drunk, and he would assign him to me and say, okay, put him to work. And we'd go out and we would work. We did a lot of landscaping, lawn work, and things like that. And it was an interesting time. Sometimes the guys would disappear in the middle of the day, and there I'd be. But George was a pretty decent fella in a lot of ways. As you think about that, always friendly, always paid and paid on time. And I would come in at the end of the day, and he would pay at the end of the day every day, even me. And as we'd go through the day, he might drive by and check on us, see what we were doing. But at the end of the day, we would come in and we would account for what we had done that day and how many hours, and he would pay those of us that were still there and so forth. And then he would ask me a question almost every day. He'd say, what'd you learn today? What did you learn today? He says, I really believe you need to learn something every day. I don't know that old George practiced it very well, but he sure wanted to put us through the drill. I had a close friend that worked with me, and we'd come in at the end of the day, and he'd say, I hope he doesn't ask that question again. I'd say, well, whatever. But anyway, we'd have to stand there and figure out something we thought we had learned during the day, something little or something large. Didn't really matter. He just felt like we ought to learn something every day. And I got to tell you, working for him and working with some of the guys that worked with us was pretty good training ground for me to think about the things I needed to learn. At that point in my life, I thought I knew everything. What person that's 18 to 20 years old doesn't think he owns the world and knows everything there is to know, and probably a little bit more? What an awakening. What a rude awakening is coming down the way. But it is a reminder that wherever we are, we know some things. You know some good things. You know how to do some things. You're good at doing some things. You need to know what you're good at, and you need to be aware and how good it is. And you need to use what you have available to us, don't we all? I felt like we were doing that. But I think like old George Mose used to ask, we need to see what we can still learn and ask ourselves, what are we learning each day? I think that goes along with what the Apostle Paul was saying about himself. For he says, I do not count myself to have apprehended. Now, I know he's talking about something further there in Philippians 3, verse 13. I know he's not talking about what We have yet to already learn in that regard, but he's talking about what is yet to come, the life that is yet to be. But doesn't it apply? I don't count myself to have apprehended, so in life he was pressing forward with his knowledge, his understanding, with using his talents and whatever it might be. So here's the message for today, just like old George Mose would say, what did you learn today? And in your learning, put it to good use. Today's a good day to learn something new. Black Friday, put it to use, and then go out and learn some more. And never find an end to it. And you know what? Your life and other lives will be blessed by it. Go out and learn something today. I hope it's a great day for you. We'll look forward to sharing some more things down the road. A lot of things are changing roundabout. For those of you who are part of the Southern Ridge congregation, check your email and the Facebook page to see some of the adjustments in schedule that are coming up as we try to deal with this coronavirus and so forth. At the present, we're going to be changing our schedule a bit and going much more virtual. So check that out, and we'll try to keep you updated down the way. Look forward to sharing more with you in the very near future, Lord willing. Have a great day.